I'm just a young girl from a small town in a former Soviet country with a passion for writing and delving deep into subjects. As I sit here, surrounded by nostalgia-filled trinkets and old photographs, I'm reminded of the countless hours I've spent dreaming of a perfect education. But oh, the disappointment that awaited me at Cornwall College, Cornwall. As I walked through those gates, I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Little did I know, my experience would be a never-ending nightmare. The administration, oh so horrible, with their closed rooms and cold, corporate atmosphere. It was like they expected us to conform to their robotic standards, suffocating our creativity and individuality. I mean, who needs critical thinking when you can just memorize and regurgitate, right? Sighs, my lecturers, underpaid and overworked, seemed to lack the passion and dedication one would expect from educators. They were like empty vessels going through the motions without any genuine concern for our growth or well-being. I recall one lecturer, who shall remain nameless, displaying an appalling lack of knowledge on the subject matter. It was like they were reading from without any real understanding of the concepts. I felt like I was being robbed of a true education, forced to settle for mediocrity. And the resources? Oh dear, it was like they expected us to perform miracles with the bare minimum. Outdated systems, devoid of the necessary specifications, made it impossible to efficiently run software. It was like they wanted us to fail, to struggle, to give up. But I didn't. I persisted, fueled by my determination to succeed. But what about the so-called support system? Air quotes, a mythical concept, nothing more. Issues were dismissed, ignored, or swept under the rug. I felt like I was shouting into a void, my concerns and frustrations falling on deaf ears. The words student well-being seemed to be nothing more than a hollow promise, a marketing gimmick to lure in unsuspecting students. And then there were the political agendas and ideologies shoved down our throats. The constant display of LGBTQ, gender fluidity, and racial paradigms, plastered on message boards like a cheap propaganda campaign. I'm not saying these issues aren't important, but shouldn't an institution of learning focus on, well, learning, instead of indoctrinating us with their biases? I felt like I was trapped in a never-ending cycle of brainwashing, forced to conform to their narrow-minded worldview. But what about the canteen food? Shudders, oh, the horror, overpriced, cold, and repeatedly serving the same tired options. It was like they wanted to torture us, to make us long for the comfort of our own kitchens. I swear the smell of stale bread and congealed fat still haunts my dreams. And the staff, some were nice, I'll give them that. But most were like automatons, going through the motions without any genuine care or concern. I recall one tutor, who shall remain nameless, exhibiting inappropriate behavior. It was like they thought they were above the law, above accountability. I felt like I was trapped in a toxic environment where the authorities turned a blind eye to the suffering of their students. But what about the autistic students like dear Tigan Spencer, who were failed by the system? Tearfully, oh, the injustice. No help, no support, no care, just a cold, calculating disregard for human life. I'm still haunted by the thought of that poor child, lost in a sea of indifference. As I reflect on my time at Cornwall College, Cornwall, I'm left with a deep sense of sadness, of loss, of what could have been. It's like I was sold a dream, a promise of a quality education, only to be delivered a nightmare of inefficiency, neglect, and disillusionment. I'm still searching for answers, for justice, for a glimmer of hope in the darkness. So, dear listeners, I ask you, have you experienced similar horrors? Share your stories, your struggles, why?
Our frustrations. Let's rise up together against the incompetence and demand better. For the sake of our education, our sanity, and our humanity. Music fades to silence. 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 Silence.
Businesses near Cornwall College, Cornwall, you know, some of them are okay, but some are not so good. Like you think you're just getting a simple service, but then boom, scammed. And tourists. Oh no, they don't care if you're here for 2 weeks or 2 days, they still take your money and run. Like there was this glazier in Plymouth, near Cornwall College, Cornwall, who would come to your place, promise perfect window repairs and then nothing. Or worse, bad work, and if you complained, oh he gets scary. Like who does that? You're just a tourist, maybe your air window breaks and this guy shows up, does a terrible job, then acts like you owe him more money. I bet those tourists just paid him to go away because what else can you do? You not from here, you don't know who to call. And the glazier, he got caught but only after so many people suffered. Probably still out there just being sneaky now. And you know what sad? This isn't even the only thing. Around Cornwall College, Cornwall, you gotta be careful with any storefront service. Like if someone offers you a deal on something, ask yourself why so cheap? Why so fast? Tourists don't have time to check reviews, so they trust and then regret. I don't get it. Why scam people who are just trying to enjoy their holiday? It's so mean. And the worst part, it probably keeps happening. Because tourists leave, they don't report it and the scammers just find new victims. Cornwall College, Cornwall is beautiful, but yeah, keep your eyes open.
The reality of businesses near Cornwall College, Cornwall businesses near Cornwall College, Cornwall, are a lesson in disappointment. If you were hoping for charm, competence, or even basic customer service, prepare to lower your expectations way lower. The area seems to specialize in frustration, from dead mouths to restaurants that treat customers like inconveniences rather than guests. Let's start with Cornwall Square, the mall that forgot how to be a mall. Empty storefronts, broken elevators, and security guards who seem to enjoy power trips more than actual security work. One visitor described it as a place where businesses go to die, and the few that remain appear to be actively resisting any form of joy. The food court plays propaganda news instead of movies. The staff at the service desk act like you've personally offended them by existing, and good luck if you need an elevator. You might as well train for a marathon on the escalator with your walker. Even the record store has a manager who treats returns like a personal insult. Cornwall Square isn't just struggling, it's a ghost town with fluorescent lighting. Then there's Taj Mahal, the restaurant where respect is optional if you're lucky. Multiple reviews describe a receptionist who greets customers with all the warmth of a tax auditor. Full, fine, rude, unacceptable. But it gets worse. Orders go missing, dishes arrive cold, and the prices make you wonder if the bread is secretly gold-plated. One family was outright refused service, with whispers about Asians not spending enough. Another diner drove home only to realize half their meal was missing, and the restaurant's solution, a free dish next time. As if anyone would return. The Taj Mahal used to be good, they say. Now it's just a monument to bad decisions. Pier 1 should be a seaside escape, but it's more like a culinary crime scene. The food, bland, the drinks, watered down. The service, a masterclass in indifference. One group waited over an hour for their meals, only to be rushed out the second they paid, because apparently sitting after eating is a luxury. Another diner's steak arrived boiled instead of grilled, and the manager's solution was to take the plate and forget the sides. The real mystery is how a place with such a great view fails so spectacularly at everything else. Even the Fern Tree Spa, which should be a sanctuary, manages to sour the experience. One couple spent hundreds on a massage, only to be met with a receptionist whose attitude was sharper than the therapist's elbows. Relaxation. Not here. And then there's FASHIONIQ Outlet, where shopping feels like a scam, mislabeled prices, staff who ignore you, and alterations that never happen. One bride was told she couldn't try on a dress because she was too skinny, a phrase that should never leave a salesperson's mouth. Another customer's suit fell apart the second they wore it, with the tailor shrugging it off as normal. If you enjoy paying premium prices for amateur service, this is your paradise. The Keay Theatre tries, but even entertainment isn't safe. Concerts are so loud they border on assault, and the lack of basic amenities, like visible signage or a decent soda selection, makes you wonder if they've ever actually been to a theatre before. So what's the verdict? Businesses near Cornwall College, Cornwall, are a gamble, and the house always wins. Poor service, inflated prices, and a general sense that customers are an afterthought. If you must visit, bring patience, lower your standards, and maybe pack a lunch. Because around here, disappointment isn't just likely, it's guaranteed.